All right, as you can see by the video's title, you're looking for the fastest review of scientific notation in the known universe. Hopefully we'll get that done today. Quick review on the idea of scientific notation. A number is written in scientific notation if it has the form of c times 10 to the power of n. Notice that x in this case actually does represent multiplication. Some number times 10 to the power of n. Two qualifiers. C must be a number less than or equal to 10 and greater than or equal to 1. It's some number in between 1 and 10. Whether it be 4.5, 6.3, 1.2, it's some number in between 1 and 10. And notice n is an integer. You have integer exponents. Some examples of doing this. To write the number in scientific notation, I have the number 22,000. I know that I need to move this decimal enough times that this now will become a number where it is in between 1 and 10. To me, that means it's 2.2. So this becomes 2.2, but now I ask myself, well, how would I get this back to the original number? I would multiply it times a power of 10. I need to ask myself, how many times would I need to move that decimal back in order to get to the number I originally started? If I go back and I trace my steps, I'd see I need to move it once, twice, 3, 4 times. That gives me my final answer of 2.2 times 10 to the power of 4. Same game here. Now I notice I have a very small number. I have 45 ten-thousandths, and I want to make this number into be a number between 1 and 10. I would have to move that decimal 1, 2, 3 times that to give me that 4.5, which would be in between 1 and 10. 4.5 times 10 to some power. Again, I ask myself, how many times would I want to move that back? Notice this time I'm moving it to the left once, twice, 3 times. In order to use that, I actually use a negative exponent to move it back to the left. This would be 4.5 times 10 to the negative third power. Another example of writing the number in standard form, if I'm given a number in scientific notation, these are actually quite simple. I start with my original number. I move the decimal the number of times that I see there. If I see a positive number, I will move it to the right. If I see a negative number, I'll move it to the left. I move it to the right 6 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Where I see that I need to put in zeros, I will put in zeros. Where I see that I will need to put in commas, I will put in commas. And I now realize that we have a really big number there. We actually have 4,200,000. Last example might be the newest, might be the most difficult for you. It says find the product, 1.5 times 10 to the negative 4th, and that will be multiplied times 5 times 10 to the negative 6th. What you want to look at is use some of your background knowledge in algebra. Consider these the coefficients. Those numbers that we have in front, we will multiply those separately. So I have 1.5 times 5, which would give me that answer of 7.5. Now I would take that and I would multiply that by a power of 10, and to get my answer here, notice I have 10 to the negative 4th times 10 to the 6th. So just like we have in the past, we would add exponents and we'd realize we have 7.5 times 10 to the second power. That's as fast as I can go through scientific notation. You should be go with the rest of your assignment.